Thank you. So some people would call it luck. Some people might say the stars were aligned. I know my husband Doug would say it's our karma. But I would say it was a freaking miracle that I didn't give birth to my son on the side of a highway. So just over about 30 years ago, on a cold late afternoon in February, my contractions started. Now, I had just given birth about 19 months before to my daughter, so this was not my first rodeo. So I knew kind of what to expect and what to do. So as the contractions got closer and harder, I called my doctor, and they said, have a glass of wine, take a hot shower, give us a call when things, get a little bit closer along or further along. So after I hung up the phone with the doctor, I then called my husband, Doug, and I said, honey, you need to come home. It is time. It's the magic hour. And he said he'd wrap up a few items at work and then find his way home. Just a little side note, it was a 40-minute drive home for him with no traffic. I also called our little sitter from down the road to come stay the night and watch our daughter. So everything was going very well. And I took that hot shower. I drank the wine. I gave my daughter a bath. I read her a story. And the babysitter arrived and my husband got home. So all was going very well. We got into the car, my husband and I, and at that time he was driving a two-door Honda Civic with bucket seats and stick shift between it. So it was a hard car to get into anyway, but 10 months pregnant, which I pretty much felt I was, it was even more difficult. But I managed to get in the car, buckled myself up, and on our way to the hospital, we went. So we lived in a kind of small town with a two-lane road in and out of town. And as we're coming out of town and down this hill, at the bottom of the hill were two shopping plazas, one on either side of the road. And between those two shopping plaza was a light, basically the one light in our town. And as we're coming close to that light, that green light, doesn't it suddenly go yellow? And my husband, ever cautious, starts to slow down to that yellow light, and he gets to the light, stops. It's still yellow. It's still yellow. Yellow, yellow, red. Finally, it's red now. And there we are, the two of us, sitting in his Honda Civic. No one around us anywhere, not a single person on the road. The parking lots in both these little shopping plazas are completely empty. It's late. They're all closed, not a light on, no one around, and we're sitting at this red light. Now, just so you have an idea of where I'm at right now, once we'd gotten into the car back at home, I had pretty much grabbed onto that little, handhold on the side of the car here. I've got one hand on the dash, and I've got my legs crossed. Now, I don't remember how or when. I pretty much know why I crossed my legs. I don't know how I did it in that Civic, but there I am clutching everything just to hold everything together, to keep everything together. And I look over at my husband, Doug, who's sitting there very calmly, and I say, honey, there's nobody around here, right? There's no one around. I think you can go. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. The light will turn green and we'll be on our way. And so it might be good to know kind of where our frame of mind is at this point. So remember, I've just done this 19 months before, and I was determined that this time there would be drugs involved, that I was going to get to that hospital and get my drugs. That was my mission. That was my goal. Now, my husband, of course, sitting next to me oh so calmly, is probably thinking in his head right now, geez, the last time we did this, spent a lot of time walking up and down those hospital corridors, didn't I? So we'll just take this calm and get her there safely. We're in two very different places. Now, I also want you to take note of the light. It is still red. This isn't one of those modern lights like we have now that sense when traffic is coming. At a certain time of day, there's more traffic, it changes. It's all very coordinated. Now, this is a dumb light, okay? It is still red, waiting for all the non-existent traffic to leave those two empty shopping plazas. Finally, the light changes to green, and off we go for the rest of that 30-minute drive to the hospital. Okay, spoiler alert, we did make it to the hospital. Okay, my husband pulls up in front of the emergency room entrance, and before he can even turn off the ignition on the car, I am unbuckled, door open, and out of that vehicle in no time flat, and waddling as fast as I can towards the doors. The doors open, and I go walking right into a very empty emergency room. Kind of lucky about that, right? And with my husband running close behind. There is only one person there. It's the woman sitting behind the reception desk, and she has her head down, kind of like this. And as she hears us come in, she says, "May I?" She takes one look at me and she jumps out of her seat, runs from behind the desk, grabs a wheelchair. I don't know how she got it, grabs a wheelchair, gets to me in no time flat, sits me in the chair, puts my little feet up, and starts rushing towards the elevator. And she's calling over her shoulder to my husband, go park the car, meet us on the 5th floor, and be quick about it. Well, anyways, some people might call it luck. I know my husband calls it our karma. But I would say after I gave birth to a very healthy baby boy, it's a frigging miracle that I'm still married to his father. Anyways, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the healthcare workers out there. You guys are amazing. We love you, and take care of yourselves too. Thanks so much.